What happened?
I was looking at your diamonds.
Oh.
Yeah, I think they're real.
They're real.
That's the goal.
He knows.
Because I wear a lot of them.
I got 283.
Coach wears a lot of jewelry.
He does.
Coming up on the season premiere of Inside the NFL.
All right, we gotta go to work, boys!
Kansas City begins their three-peat pursuit.
We get a chance to do it 3 times in a row.
We pick our first football guy of the week.
Because he does the dirty work, the work that they don't want to do.
And Coach Belichick breaks down the game plan for the Ravens and Chiefs on opening night.
Stop Kelsey on 3rd down and in the red area.
So we're double covering this, so you deal the night off.
Come on.
Oh yeah. One double 85. That's our call. One double 85.
No matter where I go?
80. Yeah. So you can't hide.
Come on, coach. You serious or you just
Okay,
playing? Just tell me you're just playing.
I'm gonna watch you run in the end zone and spike the ball here. Have a good one. I'll talk
All
to you
right,
after the
baby.
game.
All right.
Welcome to an all-new season of Inside the NFL, brought to you by Infinity. It's where we answer all the hard-hitting questions like why did Coach Belichick double Chad in preseason? Or why didn't Chad play at all when he was in New England for a season? Either way, they'll be right next to one another to answer those deep, dark questions. Chad, but on the real, man, what's it like to be sitting here with the greatest NFL coach of all time?
Man, obviously it's an honor, man. I learned a lot about structure and discipline during my tenure there, even though I didn't contribute as much as I'd like to. So to be here to share a panel with him like this, to talk about something I love and passionate about, football, is awesome.
I appreciate that, Chad. I really do. And we doubled you in preseason, but we still couldn't keep you from coming in and kicking and winning extra point.
Yeah.
High snap.
Look at this.
He drills it. Chad Ochocinco.
The most interesting footballer in the world.
My year there, loved it. To go up there and be in the locker room with those guys, learning from Coach. I always talked about how you walk around and coach every position group as well as any position coach.
Look, be ready to wrap back off of Malcolm.
Seal.
Whoa, you see how much penetration he got?
Of all the great things I could say about Coach, he flew us first class. Did Mike Tomlin fly you guys in the front of the plane or the back of the plane?
We're in the back of the plane.
Because Coach Belichick, the GOAT, had him and the coaches in coach, where they should be, no offense, and the big players that need all the leg room in the front. Like, I've had other coaches with their quality control guys and their little legs dangling off the front of the thing watching their iPad, and I'm back there sandwiched between Mailata and Lane Johnson. But this guy sat in coach. That's the kind of guy he was. I appreciate Coach, not just for that, but everything he taught us.
He seemed like a coach that understood that players go out and win championships, but we're going to try to win some championships here as well. And Inside the NFL is a little different this year. Yeah, we still have all the sights and the sounds of NFL films as we look back at some of the games, but we're going to take a big jump forward and talk about the biggest games of the week as we head into each NFL weekend. Let's talk about this season that's going to kick off right now and what it's like for a team like the Kansas City Chiefs with Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes. And you heard Travis Kelce say, we got a chance to go for 3 in a row. How are the Kansas City Chiefs set up to try to complete that almost impossible three-peat?
Well, one thing the Chiefs have going for them is the continuity on the coaching staff. With Coach Nagy, Coach Spags, and Coach Todd, they have a great staff of, leaders, of course, with Andy. So they have a lot of continuity at the top, and that's great for them. So that's a good place to start.
But there's another thing about this team that's a little bit different. They were so Travis Kelce dependent in the pass game, but they've added some speed. And when I say speed, I mean the fastest guy ever to walk on field in the NFL.
Mahomes going down the field. Worthy's wide open. He's got the football. Xavier Worthy. The speedster had the fastest time ever recorded at the NFL Combine. 4.21 in the 40.
One looked pretty faster than out there. I told him he should have caught the first one for a touchdown, though. Yeah. He had to secure that first catch. And make sure I brought that thing in. It's all right, as long as he catches it, we're good.
He's happy. His confidence will be there.
That's all we need. Confidence, get it going.
Chad, how important are additions like Xavier Worthy and also guys like Marquise Hollywood Brown to this Kansas City offense?
I think it's tremendous. It's tremendous for Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid, obviously, because I think it opens up the playbook even more exponentially. That's a big word for me.
ACT?
And, ACT. But Obviously, Xavier Worthy being a 4.2 40, Hollywood Brown being a 4.3 40. You think about the Chiefs' offense and the way they struggled at the beginning of the season, only being able to have intermediate and short routes as some of the options for Mahomes to throw to. And you think about in 2018 to 2021, the Chiefs led the NFL with 43 TDs over 20 yards. And in 2022 and 2023, the last two seasons, they were dead last. I think that number is going to increase, probably top 3.
How much could protection have played a part in Patrick Mahomes not having the ability to look downfield?
You know, we talked about it all last year. The drops are big, but how many plays are they leaving out there because Patrick didn't have a beat longer to find a deep crosser or something like that? If we can affect him in under 3 seconds, there's certain plays that he can't make. You know, they bring in a stud left tackle from BYU. He's related to Penei Sewell. That's good enough for me. His name is Kingsley Suamataia. I'm not even going to try. I have limitations phonetically. Kingsley is what I call him, Big Kingsley. And if this kid can play, I think you'll see a lot more of the explosives this year just because of the protection. They got 3 great guys inside. Creed, Joe, who you had, and Trey. Big road grader guys.
I know Creed got the second highest contract for a center, but honestly, that's an underrated position.
Yeah.
What the center brings to the offensive line in terms of communication.
Creed, remind them lemon.
And the quarterback with the cadence, in any variables that the quarterback brings up there, that's an underrated position. Creed Humphrey's one of the best in the league. That's a great move by Kansas City to solidify that quarterback-center relationship long term.
Keep battling, baby. Let's go.
Yeah, I always say that teams like the New England Patriots and the Kansas City Chiefs, they trick us into thinking that being this good every single season is easy. It's absolutely not. But there are always those teams that sort of pop up. And one guy here really loves the preseason. So we're going to talk about teams that caught our eye this offseason that could challenge or maybe even dethrone the Kansas City Chiefs.
You look big as back then.
Yeah, I was 220.
Why do you have to lie?
No, I was my size, and I was physically intimidating.
Yeah.
You were never intimidating. You came on the field signing peace treaties. That's why you was
intimidated
nice to
Rodney
everybody.
Harrison, bro. Wait till you see.
Yes, sir.
Wait till you see.
You want me to go back and get those weigh-in charts?
This is what happens.
Remember, we weighed in every week.
I know. When I
have
came to you guys, I was on Ozempic.
Let's have some fun.
Let's do some professional tackle football.
This is live.
We're playing live. Real live football, tackle football.
I feel like everybody's like excited to play football.
Hey, I forgot my pads, my pants. Maybe you'll think my quads are so big that they look like pants.
Run your feet, man.
Want to see me jog? You want to see me jog? Here we go, I'm jogging. Here we go.
Gotcha.
Oh, got one, coach. I told him I was gonna get one of those.
Keep this up. I love what I'm seeing.
Out the gate! Out the gate!
We got one.
We are out of the gate, too, on the premiere of this season. We're talking about some of the teams that were great in the preseason, because we know that preseason is where everybody has hope. And all 32 teams, even the people down in Carolina, are convincing themselves
you said Carolina.
that they can win a championship.
Where it all
Chad,
starts.
give me a team that's on your radar from what you've seen from them in the preseason.
A team that's on my radar, based on what I've seen in the preseason, is number 1 pick, USC's own legendary Caleb Williams. Not just any Caleb Williams, the Caleb Williams that paints his nails, that has that kind of confidence to go out there.
So the Chicago Bears because of Caleb Williams.
Yes, the Chicago Bears because of Caleb Williams. Obviously, haven't had a decent quarterback that gives the fans hope, that gives the organization hope since Jim McMahon. And I think based on the small sample size of what I've seen from Caleb Williams, he has a chance to turn that franchise around, that it hasn't had a 4,000-yard passer.
Ever. The team that I'm going to talk about is the Atlanta Falcons.
Yeah.
Obviously, you go in the offseason, you get Kirk Cousins.
I like what you're getting. I like feedback. If you don't like what you're getting, love feedback.
Everyone was scratching their head about the Michael Penix Jr. draft at 8. And I talked to Raheem Morris this preseason, and he was talking about all the weapons they had. And I was like, yeah, but your defense stinks. Yeah. You know, and I named the 3 guys I can name. I was like, yeah, Jesse Bates, you have A.J. Terrell, you have Grady Jarrett. So what do? You go out and get Matthew Judon because you needed a pass rusher, but you also add Justin Simmons, a guy who's been an All-Pro, a guy who's been a Pro Bowler, to now pair with Jesse Bates. And so I think that team is doing what they can defensively to complement the Bijan Robinsons and the Kyle Pitts and the Drake Londons on offense.
I want to go with the Texans. I mean, it's not a hot take. I think anybody could see they were ascending last year.
And the Texans are in the playoffs.
We punched our ticket.
They upgraded with Mixon.
I'm just now getting warmed up.
They upgrade with Daniil Hunter. They bring in Azeez Al-Shaair.
Yeah.
And we talked about the best defenses in the AFC have lost guys. Kansas City lost Snead. They lost Willie Gay. I don't know what it's going to look like on the perimeter. Baltimore lost Queen.
You better get your together, boy.
They're getting better, while some of the other AFC defenses are not.
I think what I love about the Texans is take advantage of the rookie contract for a star quarterback.
Oh, they're doing it.
You have a quarterback that can deal, put pieces around him. And, Coach, I know you've been chomping at the bit to tell us who and what you love about the preseason.
Well, you know, all I would say is you can't see it in preseason. Yeah. It's just not there. You know, overall, the league average was 10% for the starters, how much they played in preseason. And a third of the league played less than 5%. Your Falcons played their starters 3% of the time in preseason. So you can't see it there. So what's going to happen when the real games start? You're going to see a real competition that whoever they played against in preseason, it wasn't the best players on the other team.
So what you're saying is, Coach, we can't plan a parade because Caleb was so accurate in the preseason.
Well, it wasn't accurate. He was 10 for 20.
Yeah, it's like you didn't watch the 20 throws. Come on. There's a reason he's excited.
It's 20 throws, Chad.
He buzzed through them. And
you got to think how good the 10 were that were completed. You know, the extended plays, the footwork.
They weren't that good. There was a couple highlight plays.
See?
They weren't that good.
And no one's saying he might not be great. Yeah. But what we're saying is, it's just you need the context. It's like when I hear somebody's lighting it up in camp, I'm like, is he running with the twos? Is he going against the 2 defense? Is the quarterback struggling because he's got the 2 offensive line? There's just a lot we don't know.
Yeah, and the hard part about the preseason is you're not going to play those starters, and the starters don't want to play. I mean, you going out there for $1,000. I don't want to be out there
until the undrafted guy has 3 sacks in the first half, and you're like, let me get my pads on, Coach.
Yeah. Chad, you probably were the only person that got fined in the preseason.
Yeah, I got fined in the preseason. It might have been the second game. It was the second game. We were supposed to get two series. And the third series came about, and I told the guy, just sit back. I want to keep playing.
You know you're out?
Yeah. No, I'm not.
Yeah.
No. Wait. Boss man, you said I can go to halftime.
I know, but now it changed.
Come on, not while I'm going.
I know. And I refused to come out, and he had to call a timeout to get me out, and he fined me $20,000. And it made no sense to me because he understood why I wanted to play in the preseason.
That's how much you love the game. You were paying to play football.
That's my kind of player.
You know what I mean? But listen, when we get to week 1, I don't want to have to ramp up and catch up. I don't want to go from 0 to 100. Yeah. I already want to be at 50 miles an hour, if you know what I mean.
And you know what, Chad? We went out and played Cincinnati in preseason after we won the Super Bowl. We were out there, but we didn't play. And so at the end of the first quarter, I told all the starters, we're playing until we start playing. And they played into the fourth quarter. And that was an unhappy group. That was an unhappy group. But you know what? I was going to stand there and watch these guys just go through the motions. It was ridiculous. And you know what? I think that really elevated the intensity of practice in the preseason. Look, if you're going to play 10 plays, play them good. Right. Okay.
And there's nothing that prepares you for the first 10-play drive down in Tampa or Miami. When you're there's no amount of running over the offseason. The only way to do it is play football. And that's the thing I feel for these guys now. They're going to go week 1 and play 50 plays, 60 plays, some of these guys, and that's going to be tough.
You're not going to be able to tell who these teams really are and sometimes who guys actually are until they kick it off week 1. Coach, for you, what are you looking for in that opening week or those opening few weeks of the season to sort of tell you where your team is and how well you have prepared them?
Well, I think that's where the rubber meets the road, is where you see what you think you're good at. Are you actually good at it? And what you think maybe are weaknesses that you're going to have to take care of. How quickly are those taking care of themselves, or is this going to be a problem all year long? And certainly teams that are starting new quarterbacks, new left tackles, new positions, new corners, things like that. How will that all come together? And you don't just pick up where you were last year in January, December, February, whenever it was. It's got to be rebuilt.
Absolutely. Bottom line, guys, if your team won all 3 preseason games, do not start planning your parade for after the season in the Super Bowl. And if you win week 1, don't plan one then. It's a long journey to get an opportunity to win a ring. But this is NFL Films, and this is the house that Steve Sable built. We have film from all of the greats from the start to the finish. And Coach and I will dive into the film vault to take a look at the first glimpse of an absolute legend. Welcome back to Inside the NFL, and we're going to hit the film vault and take you back to 1975, where a rookie became sweetness and one of the greatest running backs of all time, and where a quality control coach became the greatest coach of all time as well, but he was much more salty. Coach, what did you find in our film vault?
Well, I found Walter Payton in 1975 in the College All-Star game, and that's the first game I broke down when I worked for the Baltimore Colts in 1975, because we opened with the Bears that season, and then I saw the 6 preseason games leading up to the regular season.
Wait, time out. How many preseason games, Coach?
6 preseason games, 3 scrimmages, and this was a College All-Star game. So, but one of the great things about preseason and the College All-Star game was you got to see great players. And so as a coach, I saw, Walter Payton here, Lawrence Taylor in his rookie year, Tom Brady in his rookie year. And you could see signs of greatness in those players, even in the preseason. But this is Walter Payton in the College All-Star game, number 34. And this was a game where all the College All-Stars went and trained for a month to play against the previous year's Super Bowl champion, in this case, the Pittsburgh Steelers, and that steel curtain defense.
Coach, so this would be the equivalent of Caleb Williams, who's the Chicago Bears' first-round draft pick, playing against the Kansas City Chiefs to start a season off.
That's exactly what it was. Exactly what it was.
Yeah.
And here you can see Payton's quickness, his balance, and his power. This is an interesting play right here where Walter Payton takes a little swing pass. And who do you think he's matched up against there?
That's got to be somebody with no teeth, Coach.
That would be him. That would be him.
Jack Lambert.
And there's Jack. And Payton kind of makes him look bad. Competed very hard for every yard, fought for every yard. You just see how competitive those guys are. But here it is again. This is Payton against Lambert. And look at that contact balance here. Not only does Walter Payton lower his shoulder and break 2 tackles, but he's still on his feet. And they still can't get him down. They push him out of bounds. They still can't get him on the ground. So it's easy to see from a few plays like this the type of talent that Walter Payton had and what he became in the National Football League.
But, Coach, you said you were scouting him for the season opener. How did Walter Payton do against your Colts?
It was a pretty good day for us. It really was. There we have the band. Great crowd, great atmosphere, as it always is, for the Bears in Chicago. There he is.
He sure did look sweet, though.
He did. But this is a really good defensive team. We had a pretty good day against them. Was well prepared for this game.
Coach, the thing that stands out to me is that we threw a toss overhand to Walter Payton. Times has changed, Coach.
They have.
But Walter Payton didn't have a great start. And last year, Ocho had a great start predicting games and didn't quite finish on that same trend. So I'm going to pass it over to Chris and Ocho Predicto.
I've been predicting right my entire life. You can go my way, because I'm going to be open. Well, you're going to kiss the baby today.
Chad in the back of the end zone. Touchdown.
Nice. Chad, please. I've been correct since day one.
Here comes a point in the show where we take all the suspense of week 1 and we tell you exactly what's going to happen, because Ocho always knows.
I'm never wrong.
Ocho, my guy, vamos a Brazil. What's going to happen? Birds, my Eagles against the Packers.
It's always about common sense, and that's something that I do have. Green Bay against the Philadelphia Eagles. The Eagles are going to win the game, 35-28.
Music to my ears, dude. All right, New England, Cincinnati. Cincy starts slow. So did they start slow this year?
Listen, Cincinnati always starts slow, but there's a quarterback carousel and a little bit uncertainty down there in New England. So the Bengals are going to win this one, 17-10.
New England's missing a certain coach.
Yeah.
He's on set with us.
Yeah.
All right, in Pittsburgh, Atlanta, a bunch of new quarterbacks. What do you think happens in this game?
Listen, another team with uncertainty at the quarterback position. The Steelers, they'll probably get maybe around 10 points, but the Falcons, with the gunslinger and Kirk Cousins, are going to put up 23 points.
23-10 is what you got
so 23-10.
here. Okay, all right. Saturday, this is the main event. This is Idaho State, Oregon State, of course. 6:30 p.m. Eastern, right here on the CW. Where else would it be? What do you think happens in this?
Can I ask you people at home a question? You know what Beaver's favorite food is? Potatoes. Did you know that? Beaver's favorite food are potatoes.
I don't think that's true.
So listen, the Beavers gonna win 38-12.
Not
They
even
love
close,
potatoes.
huh? Not even close.
Not even close.
All right, Beavers roll. And after the break, I got a prediction for you. We're going to have a new Chicago Bears running back. Any guesses who that might be?
Ready, set.
Pressure coming, dumps it off, caught Swift. The Bears will be in the red zone of Buffalo.
Caleb creativity.
Stepping up, looking, scanning, spinning now to his left. Shot down the field. Pass caught inside the 10.
Like that, Raf? That was pretty sweet, right?
The awareness that field is his playground. This is what he does. He can create.
He is not fearing pressure. He's toying with pressure.
Good team, bro. Got the keys to it, so it's, man, voice it, bro. Voice it.
Welcome back to Inside the NFL, and you just got to see a little picture of DeAndre Swift in his new Chicago Bears uniform. So we're going to bring in the new running back of the Chicago Bears, D. Swift. We saw a little bit of what you and Caleb Williams can sort of create offensively with the little shovel pass on the screen. I'm not going to tell people at the end of that you fell down by yourself and nobody touched you. Along with Rome and Keenan Allen, Cole Kmet, how excited are you this year to have all of those weapons and see what you guys can produce?
Man, really excited, really excited. A lot of pieces, like you said, a lot of pieces, a lot of answers. So we come in here daily putting the work in. Definitely excited to be a part of this offense, especially with the guys that we got on this offense.
Listen, Drake, I heard you in reference to what you said to Caleb on the sideline. You got the keys, and I'm with you. What have you seen in such a short amount of time where a rookie like Caleb, even though he was the first pick of the draft, what have you seen from him so far this early where you feel he's the one for the job?
Just his urge to get better. You don't see no complacency.
Let's go. Here we go.
He wants the next day to be better than the previous day. Just the amount of time and effort that he puts in. He got a lot on his plate. So just the way he's handling everything, seeing him get better each and every single day. That's what I've noticed so far.
Talk a little bit about last year, though, having an opportunity to go back to Philadelphia and play in your hometown.
It was an amazing opportunity, one that I'm grateful for.
Swift takes the ball, runs up the middle, cuts at the 40, at the 35-30, 25-20, 15-10-5. DeAndre Swift.
You are bad.
A lot of people don't get a chance to play at the highest level where they're from. Just grateful for the opportunity, like you said.
When I think about it, in two previous teams you played for, the culture in those teams have changed to where the mindset is always about winning, and they have done just that the past previous seasons. You do know and understand that you also have a chance to change the culture in Chicago with yourself, with the additions that the supporting cast as far as the receivers are concerned, and Caleb Williams. Are there any pressures on you as a player with the goals that you've set for yourself for this upcoming season?
No, I mean, I don't look at it as pressure at all. Come in here, go to work, be prepared the right way. Shouldn't be no pressure at all. That's how I look at it.
So much talk is about not having a 4,000-yard passer in the history of this offense, but you guys have so many pieces outside of Caleb Williams. How confident are you that within that locker room, you guys have what it will take to get the Bears back to where they once were in 1985, which is a playoff contender and eventual Super Bowl champion?
Very confident, very confident. And I say that because I see the work that we put in every single day. I see the mentality that the guys had, the coaching staff has, everybody in the building. It's going to take work. It ain't going to come overnight. We have to put the work in, take it a day at a time, a game at a time. But it's definitely everything we want to have is achievable.
Man, I appreciate you, D. Swift, man. Enjoy your practice, bro, and best of luck in the 2024 season.
Yes, sir.
Hey, don't forget to eat McDonald's. Nutrition is important.
Don't eat.
I've been paying attention. I got you.
Hey, don't eat McDonald's, man. He was the anomaly. He is not the common thread. Hey, guys, and this is a football guy, but when we come back, we'll bring you the assistant coach or a player that we feel needs to get more love in our first edition of Our Football Guys.
football player. You gotta like those kind of guys.
This is my new favorite segment. This is when we pick our football guy of the week. Chad, Chris, and myself will give Coach Belichick either a current player or assistant coach that we feel needs to be highlighted more. And when I win, because Coach will pick me, because I'm the host, Coach, and for you to talk, I have to bring it to you. I will walk over to the wall, and he will be our football guy of the week. So we're going to go to Coach. And, Coach, I want you to give me a guy who defines what a football guy is to you.
When I think of my football guy, Rodney Harrison. Rodney Harrison was the second best defensive player I coached. He sacrificed everything for the team. It was always about the team. Whatever you asked Rodney to do, he would do it for the team. He was great against the run. He could defeat blockers. He was an excellent tackler. He was very good in man-to-man pass coverage, matchup against receivers or against tight ends. He was very good in zone coverage at reading the quarterback, and he was a great blitzer. He could blitz, he could run over backs and even sometimes linemen. He had a great spin move, not only make the sack, but also strip. He does everything that I would want a football player to do on and off the field, practice, and in games. He's my football guy.
Rodney Harrison took over for Lawyer Malloy, who was a great player in himself and a big part of the success of the New England Patriots. But you always seem to love Rodney. What was it about him that allowed you guys to have such an amazing relationship?
I think we both love football.
Yeah.
Rodney he loved football. When he walked out on the field, he was all business, all football, even doing things like, challenging other players, his teammates on making sure you're hydrated, drinking more water, studying more film, just doing extra things. Rodney loved the game of football, and he played it with great passion.
Does he deserve to be in the Hall of Fame to
Oh,
you,
my
Coach?
God, absolutely.
Chad?
Yes, sir.
Rodney Harrison is in another Hall of Fame. This Hall of Fame looked like the Hall of Fame of scaring you. Let's take a look at a coin toss.
Get out the way, man. Blaze. Out the way. What's up, bud? Don't start him. Yeah, don't start.
Listen, that what you just saw? Now, don't be fooled. Rodney Harris was deemed as one of the most aggressive, scariest players in the secondary that I've ever faced. But what you saw in that clip was me establishing dominance and playing mental gymnastics to let him know it's going to be a long day for him.
That's real alpha stuff.
You feel me? I was the alpha that day.
Yeah, that's real alpha stuff.
So after all 183.7 pounds of you bumped into Rodney Harrison.
At that time, I was 205.
220.
Okay, after you bumped into him, did you kind of feel or see the fear within him?
I saw it in his eyes, because if you look at the clip again, I established contact. The person that hits first always establishes dominance. That's how I knew it was going to be a long day for him and the Patriots.
Chad, who's your football guy of the week?
Listen, my football guy of the week is somebody that doesn't get the credit. He doesn't get the commercials. He doesn't get the notoriety. He doesn't get the cheerleaders. Matter of fact, he doesn't even have a girlfriend. It's Jawan Jennings.
Never had a girlfriend.
Listen, Jawan Jennings is the one. He's the reason for Christian McCaffrey's success. He's the reason Debo and Brandon Ayuk were able to get open on the field. Why? Because he does the dirty work, the work that they don't want to do. He puts on the construction hat. It's yellow. Jawan Jennings is my football guy. Oh.
So I'm going to say this.
I'm sorry.
I'm going to say, we'll be good. I'm going to say this, though, Chad. One, when he puts on any hat I've ever seen, it's been the gold and red one that he wears for the San Francisco 49ers. And the fact that you just tried to sell a dude that we're going to put on football guy as the sole reason the San Francisco 49ers offense is great.
CMC owes him money.
Owes him money.
Yeah.
Automatically disqualifies you.
I feel like, that should disqualify.
Automatically disqualifies you. Okay, now you're up.
All right. Coach, you know this guy, B-Flow. He's got, he learned from the best. And last year, they played a lot of wild coverages behind fronts that people just aren't used to seeing. You got to have multiple looks, and you got to have positionless guys in this league. If you have one, it's a luxury. Josh Metellus, man, when you talk to guys up there, he can play. Let me hold this guy up so you can see, because you definitely never heard of him unless you know ball. This guy can play like 5 positions. That's why I think I should win. You show one guy, you show one guy. I show 5 different guys in this one guy. He can play deep third. He can play, half field. He can tackle. He can play man. He adds into games. You talk about Rodney Harrison. Obviously, one of the best ever, but does that versatility kind of ring a bell?
It does. It does ring a bell.
Yeah. And it's valuable to have a guy like that.
I don't like the fact that you guys are pandering the coach.
We're pandering.
Outdo
Exactly.
The other piece of it is, too, you tried to sell Coach on why your guy should win it, and all he gave you was, it does. He basically told you, we're on to Cincinnati. So my guy is Joe Witt Jr., who is now the defensive coordinator of the Washington Commanders. And here's why I picked Joe Witt. He's a lifelong football guy. His father coached at Auburn for over 3 decades, through all of those coaches. He gets injured in college and starts right away as a grad assistant. Goes on to the Citadel, one of those $19,000 jobs you've talked about before, Coach. And then he moves on to Louisville. He's coached both
Look
offense.
at him appealing to the military appreciator.
He's coached both offense, defense. He coached in Green Bay when they had Charles Woodson. He was the secondary coach.
Son too.
Secondary coach with Charles Woodson and Tramon Williams when that defense was number 1 and number 2. He also moved on to Cleveland. He was in Dallas the last few years as they became one of the best scoring defense in the defense that took the football away. And now under Dan Quinn, finally getting his opportunity to run the entire defense. You want to talk about a guy that's done 5 jobs?
He could probably call the defense.
Has done 5 jobs, and Chad's guy doesn't even know what color his hard hat's supposed to be.
He makes the offense go and doesn't get the credit because just now, and you just proved my point, you didn't give him the credit. Well, go ahead, Coach.
Coach, you like defense?
You know what? The evidence is in. And being a defensive guy, we got 2 good defensive choices here. Love Joe Witt, love Martellus, but I'm going to go with Juwan.
I know you're doing the hat thing like a high school recruit.
Coach, there's no way, Coach. Oh, my gosh.
Jawan Jennings, baby. Put your hard hat on,
baby.
Try to
actually hang the picture on the wall.
Put your hard hat on, Jawan Jennings. That's what it's all about.
Well, Chad, you get to take us to break now since you won Football Guy of the Week.
This is the CW. Coming up next, we have Brother Bill Belichick talking about the game plan. Stay tuned.
Go get off there, Chad! Get off there! Get off there! Do your thing, big boy! Now we have Bill Belichick's game plan presented to you by Infiniti. And he's going to get us to the kickoff game between the Ravens and the Kansas City Chiefs. But, Coach, before we get into the X's and O's, talk a little bit about the pageantry that comes along with the kickoff game that was started in 2004.
So here are some of the scenes, some of the things you deal with here. There was a lot of meetings between me and the marketing department, and that was a little bit of a tug of war. But here's the 2003 banner going up, and as you mentioned, there's a lot of hype with the games. We have fireworks. We have Lenny Kravitz. We've got Elton John at the piano. And then in 2005, after the 2004 season, Santana, Ozzy.
That's what I want to see.
Ozzy.
Here he is up here. Team's running out underneath. There's the smoke. I mean, it's just a big show.
But Coach, don't you enjoy mixing entertainment with your football?
I'm ready to play the game. We already had the parade. We already got our rings. And here we go. Well, who's this?
That's the highly decorated recording artist, Flo Rida.
Of what song fame?
The one I Got a Feeling.
Yeah.
Good Feeling. Coach, you might like this song, Good Feeling. He once wouldn't let me in his section at Hakkasan in Las Vegas, dude. I don't know what the problem was. I wanted to get in the section.
He wouldn't let you in?
He wouldn't let me in the section, Coach.
I like him. And so here's the Chiefs, trying to weave their way through the Super Bowls. And I really wanted to get all this stuff out of the way and not give any more incentive to the Chiefs, in this case, to come in and ruin our party.
How did that game play out for you, Coach?
Not well. Not well. We were ahead 27-21 at the start of the fourth quarter, and Chiefs scored 21 points and beat us by 2 touchdowns. So it didn't go well at all.
But we're here to hear, obviously the kickoff game gives you some extenuating circumstances, but it all comes down to what you do on the football field. And for us, we'll see a rematch of the AFC Championship, the Baltimore Ravens and the Kansas City Chiefs. What is sort of a matchup that we should be paying attention to going into this game?
Well, I think one thing for sure, that the Ravens are going to sit there Coach Harbaugh is going to be there this week and tell his team, we're not going to let Kelsey get 9 for 96 and a touchdown in the first half. We're not going to let that happen. Here's Kelsey, on a shake route, out and up route on Hamilton. Great throw, great catch, but that's two great players, Mahomes and Kelsey. All right. And then here's Kelsey on a play-action pass where they run Edwards-Helaire out in the flat. Kelsey comes down in here and weaves inside, and they clear it out. So we have a 3-level route here. Let me see if I can do this. 1, 2, 3.
That's great. That is great illustration.
Yeah.
By the way.
This puts Hamilton in a little bit of a bind here because, Kelsey releases inside and then, and then weaves back up here into this flat area. And then here's the back in the flat. So Hamilton really has to have an awareness of Kelsey. You can never lose track of where Kelsey is. He's a go-to guy to hold this off, make the quarterback throw the ball up here into the flat area and then go up and make the tackle. So these are the kind of plays that Kansas City hurt the Ravens with last year in the first half of the AFC Championship. But, Chad brought up this point earlier. I think this year it's going to be more about, hey, we got to keep an eye on Kelsey, but we can't let their big three, Hollywood Brown, Rice, and now Worthy, at his 4.2 speed, get behind us. Kelsey and Mahomes have such a great connection. They're like in each other's mind. They know what the other person is thinking. And so when you blitz Mahomes like this, you got to get on Kelsey. The Ravens need to get tighter coverage on this guy. Even though Hamilton's free going to the quarterback, he's not even close to hitting Mahomes. The ball's already out of his hands and into Kelsey's. The bottom line on this is whoever's closest to him, get down there. Forget about trying to fool Mahomes at this point. He's going to see it anyway. Get down there and get on him so that they don't get this easy throw and you waste your blitz.
Coach, when I was a player, I never would have done this, but I snuck 2 plays into your cut up here. Okay. Low red makes us nervous. I'm sure as a coordinator it makes you nervous. As a defensive end, there's a lot to look at. When you got Patrick Mahomes, who can extend plays, you got a man-beater tight end, and you got an all-world play caller. They throw a lot to look at you here. There's a lot of eye candy, and I wonder, how does this look they show Green Bay set up the look that won the Super Bowl?
Right. Well, one thing Andy does a great job of in the low red area, low red being, call it inside the 8-yard line, inside the 10-yard line, is a lot of misdirection, a lot of motion, and a lot of options. So the quarterback can run, throw, pitch it outside, pitch it back inside. On this play against Green Bay, Mahomes brings a receiver in motion back here and then fakes it to him. And then the receiver is going to come back underneath on a shovel pass, and Mahomes can either shovel it to him or throw it outside here. And you can see Gary, starting to react to Mahomes coming outside. If he catches this pitch, he's going to walk in there. So it's a tough misdirection play for the end and the linebacker.
And that's a great play by Slayton, just to get a piece of him. I believe that's 93 there.
100%. But here it is in the Super Bowl against San Francisco. This is Hardman, who's going to start a cross in motion. All this action in front of the defense right there. There's the fake handoff, and there's going to be the shovel pass coming back inside. But the eyes of the defenders kind of get trapped inside. They're a little late to react. Hardman outflanks the defense to the sideline. Bosa's kind of trapped down here inside on the shovel pass, and there's the game. And I think that's the same play, but a different look.
That's what they'll do offensively, Coach. But what do the Ravens need to do better in this game as opposed to the AFC Championship on their offensive side of the ball?
Well, I think the first thing that the Ravens have to concentrate on and do better in this game in the AFC Championship is third down conversions. Now, part of that is what happens on first and second down to create third down, but sooner or later you got to convert third downs. And so this is the first third down of the game, 3rd down and 7. And here's an under route to, this is Aguilar being covered by McDuffie. It's going to be short of the first down anyway, but, this whole play just doesn't look very good.
Coach, in a situation like this, you have a big 3rd down and you're going to Nelson Aguilar, and there's no disrespect to him, but there are reasons why you go out and get Zay Flowers at the time trying to get Odell Beckham Jr. What is your focus as a coach in some of these AFC Championship Super Bowl moments? What's your approach?
I would tell the coaching staff before the game, AFC Championship game as an example, before the game, look, we have 60 plays left in our season. All right, which ones are we going to call? Here's our third down plays. Let's make sure that on these third down plays, all right, we give our best players, we give Chad Johnson a chance to get the ball. If he's singled, if they double him, then here's our other our good options over on the other side. How do we get our best players on the field as much as possible in the most critical situations? Because this is all we have left. So here's 3rd and 4. And this is a play that I think, Lamar would like to have back. The secondary is rotating over here, and there's a trap corner in the flat. So immediately the quarterback should recognize this and say, okay, here's a deep player, here's a short player. We don't want to throw the ball over here. Here's our matchup over here on the 3-man side. But it's just not very good execution by Baltimore. They throw the ball to the flat. It's short of the first down anyway. They drop it. It's not well executed. But this is not where you want to throw the ball over here. All right, this is the matchup on the field where the ball should be going. So, again, just in general, the Ravens as a team, coaches, players, everybody, they just have to execute better than they did in this game. And so this is a 3rd and 1 situation, all right? And here's the first down yardage right there. Get it to him quick, all right, or get it to him quick out here. But Lamar kind of hangs onto the ball, looks to run. There's still, receivers open here for the first down past the sticks. But at this point, starts to scramble out and gets sacked. Those plays need to be converted.
I think for the Ravens and Lamar Jackson, especially in critical games like the AFC Championship games, the addition of Derrick Henry is going to save them a lot. It's going to take a tremendous amount of pressure off of Lamar Jackson, having to make those reads, having to make those plays where the mistakes were made in that game. And I think some of those will be countered with first downs if you just change it up and just run the ball.
I think there's opportunities for him to just use his legs. I know he's a great passer. He's an amazing pocket guy. But when it's all on the line and you got, to Coach's point, 60 plays left and they zero up and go blitz and backs turn to the offense, tuck and run. Hurt them with your legs, because I thought he was a little tentative to take those chances.
Yeah, well, here's the way I see the game. For Baltimore offensively, number 1, run the ball. All right, make them stop the run. I think they're saying we didn't do that the last time we played them. We didn't make them stop the run. We didn't call it enough. So I think they're going to call more runs. I think they're going to try to get Derrick Henry going. And they have to convert on 3rd down. Sooner or later, your 3rd down is going to come up. You have to be able to convert on 3rd down. On the other side of the ball for Kansas City, I don't think Kansas City is going to come in here and try to pound the ball away at that Ravens run defense. I think they're going to mix in some runs, obviously, to keep them honest, but I think this is going to be a passing game. All right, and it's all really about points. Can Kansas City score points with their explosive players, with Worthy, with Rice, with Hollywood Brown, and Kelsey in the red area? Can they make those explosive plays, and score enough points? But in the end, there's 2 of the best kickers in the league, Butker and Tucker. Between them, they've hit almost 90% game-winning kicks. So, Chad, as a kicker, it comes down to the kicking game. We got 2. I would go with whichever team has the final kick. That's who I'm picking in this one.
It'll be extremely exciting if the kickoff game comes down to 2 of the best kickers in all of football. Thank you for joining us for the premiere edition of the new Inside the NFL. We have a bye week, so don't expect me and the boys to be back here next Friday, but join us September 13th at 9 p.m. Eastern, only on the CW. Don't call him.